Hey everyone, and welcome to SkillCapped. In this guide, we'll be going over the two aggressive entry strategies the pro player SINATRAA uses to get more kills and top frag in his games on the map Bind in offense. We're going to be showing clips of SINATRAA's Phoenix and how he uses the character to gain space for his team. Make sure to also come check out our video guide on Phoenix to get extra tips and tricks that might help you dominate in rank. Now, gaining map control and finding information for your team aggressively early onto the round can net you lots of frags and wins in solo queue. Playing aggressively offensively is pretty risky. You need to have the mechanics and be precise with your aim to be able to execute these plays with high succession. Keep in mind, playing aggressively on offense requires you to be flexible and adaptive at all times. SINATRAA always adapts to changes in situations and fills in the gaps where his teammates cannot. Luckily, we'll be breaking down different variations of the same play to give you guys a better idea of SINATRAA's thought process and how he is such an amazing solo queue player. Before we get into that, we're excited to announce our brand new hyper improved platform specifically designed to help you improve fast. At SkillCapped.com, you'll finally learn how to level up your aim, different techniques to win a gunfight, and so much more. We have professional courses on every single agent, map, and mechanic in Valorant. This is backed by the top pros, players, and coaches to make sure you're getting the most up-to-date and accurate info possible. In fact, we're so confident that you'll improve using our system that we offer a rank improvement guarantee. Check it out yourself in the link below. Simply put in what rank you're currently stuck at and find out what rank you're guaranteed by using our system. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your true potential and get the rank you've always wanted at SkillCapped.com. Link in the description below. Alright, so jumping into our first strategy, we have a very standard play of SINATRAA going up middle and getting hookah control. Keep in mind, Phoenix's role is to safely escort your team onto the site and make as much space as you can for your team on the map. This is how a default Phoenix setup would work in Bind going into hookah. First, you would normally walk up and hug the left wall. This is to force the enemy to swing wide to frag you out, which creates an opportunity for your team to trade you. An alternative play you can do is molly the entrance right away if you know somebody peeks it consistently. Denying them this play will put the enemy on the back foot because you can hear them stomp out of hookah and possibly force them into a bad position. Afterwards, have a flash out and make sure you go high with it to catch anybody behind the boxes on your right. Clear left quickly and then focus on clearing behind the box. Once you've cleared hookah, you're almost done your job as Phoenix. Anything beyond this point is a combination of playing with your team and making plays to create space to get onto site. With the next few clips, you can see how SINATRAA will make space for his team and simultaneously deal as much damage as possible. Let's start with his first clip. We'll take a look at how his team composition looks and the position they're in before the round. SINATRAA's team does not have any sentinels. This means that watching the flank with utility is not possible. It forces only two outcomes to occur. Either rush and commit onto a site or put a player for lurk just in case. Since there are no players positioned in A side, we can assume this team is going to full send onto B side. Having a split for long B and short B, which is hookah, is the ideal situation to be in to take this site as an offense. Because hookah is such a narrow choke point, having a long B push out at the same time helps relieve that pressure. Let's take a look at how SINATRAA's team plays this through. We can see that SINATRAA hugs the left side of the wall as discussed earlier to force the enemy to wide peek the entrance just to spot him. He quickly checks the right corner and clears the rest of the entrance to make sure nobody is posted. It is safe to dry peek this area because of the two teammates SINATRAA has beside him to trade just in case he falls. The next step into this default is to throw a flash to blind both left and right corners. These are positions that are very commonly played by people. Next step is to clear both sides after and be ready to fight on site. At this point, SINATRAA has done basically 50% of his job. The next step is to create space and open up the site for his team. Since nobody is peeking out of CT or backside, SINATRAA chooses to boldly jump out of hookah with a jump flash. Although it seems like a YOLO play, this is actually backed up by the footsteps he heard earlier. Since the footsteps were from the left and sounded like sand, this was for sure coming from garden side. Off the jump, SINATRAA sees Omen and Breach in the garden side. Since Omen spotted him first, he decides to fight him and win. Instantly, he tries to spray transfer onto Breach, but unfortunately misses. Let's pause and look at the map for now. Jet and Sova are pushing up to kill the Breach from long, but backside has still been unclear. Since two enemies in B are located, there can potentially be one more, either elbow or backside, and very likely two people rotating from A site. The reason why SINATRAA is so confident in turning his back away from backside and stare directly at Garden is because he knows that his teammates from Hookah are still watching it for him. Let's resume the clip. The Jet from Long grabs the kill from Garden, and as the comms called out earlier, there is one more backside, which SINATRAA turns around for, but unfortunately gets fragged out. From this play alone, he has created a huge amount of pressure and space for the players on Hookah and Long to come up freely. The enemy breach flashed on site instead of Long and allowed Jet to easily shoot his back, and Reyna was able to trace SINATRAA off after Sova grabs a kill on him. The site is open for plant, and the last two are 100% going to be rotating from A site. Let's take a look at another clip of SINATRAA going up Hookah. Again, before we start, let's take a look at his team's current map positioning. We can see that there are 4 people going into Hookah and 1 player lurking for A in short. As I said earlier with the previous clip, since there are no sentinels for this team composition, one person has to stay behind and lurk to watch the flank. Since there are 4 people going up Hookah, always try to play more aggressively than usual due to the multiple amount of people ready to trade you off. If you are in a position that might get you killed, even if you die, the enemy would most likely fall as well to the person behind you. Also, since they won the first round, which was a pistol round, they have a gun advantage and most likely will be met with shorties inside Hookah. With 4 people going into it at once, it should allow for easy trades. Let's play it out and see what happens. Everybody starts off confidently stomping into Hookah, each person with one goal in mind: eco frags. As SINATRAA approaches Hookah entrance, he does the same standard flash to clear both sides but actually forgets to stay alert for the Omen behind the right box. Unfortunately, Ally Sova dies by the Omen and SINATRAA gets taken down to 42 health. At least he got the eco frags. At this point, all the utility has come onto site with a Reyna flash and Omen smoke coming onto CT. Regardless of circumstances, if there are 4 players coming onto site, it's always good to have an entry fragger come out and find information. SINATRAA looks at Long because nobody on his team actually went through that direction. Since Omen played Hookah, it is safe to assume another player is covering the other entrance onto the site. Unfortunately, SINATRAA loses the duel, but the information has been given out and gets quickly traded out. A good mentality about being an entry is that deaths don't matter that much if they are traded during the offense. Although, if the death is in a position where it can't be traded by a team, that is not a good place to die. For the next clip, we can show you a safer way of going into Hookah with a little bit of teamwork. We start off taking a look at another B split ready to be executed. Again, we see SINATRAA and his team hug the left side of the wall while scaling to Hookah. This time, we have a Sova drone to clear out Hookah. One of the greatest combinations for Phoenix is having an initiator beside him pushing onto a site. Remember guys, when an ally Sova drones, it's almost always a good idea to follow it and kill whoever gets marked by it. As the drone goes into Hookah, an Omen tries to get a shorty kill and pop out of the left corner before the drone sees and marks him. SINATRAA is unfazed and quickly gets the first kill despite receiving a lot of damage. He wonders if he should heal with his molly, but he prioritizes pushing onto site with his team and continues to clear Hookah with a spray on the box to hopefully clear anybody behind it. His team on Long B has already pushed up to the chokehold, and the timing to push together is present, especially since Sova has already arrowed backside for information. As SINATRAA tries to push up, an earthquake appears and he's just about to get hit by it. He quickly ults and tries to negate anything that might kill him afterwards. Unfortunately, as he jumps out of Hookah, a raised grenade takes out the remaining health, but that also means that SINATRAA is all healed up from the ultimate. A random spray into the smoke grabs a kill, and this team successfully grabs control of the entire site and the round. With Sova, you can always freely get into the chokeholds and also have his darts reveal backside before the execution happens. He's literally every entry player's best friend. Now that we've seen how B is pushed, let's take a look at A. In this clip, we have a simple A short push with U-Haul control as priority. Before we start though, let's take a look at the map. What do you guys think is the right play based off their current positioning? If you guys thought that they should all push short fast, then you are correct. As mentioned before, since there are many people going into a chokehold in a line, it is important that everybody goes in and trades whoever is in front of them. In theory, there should be no excuse for the trade not to happen due to the difficult shots the enemy would have to make to get multiple kills. Alright, so the round starts with Omen putting out a truck smoke that blocks Heaven and a bit of the right side of the site. SINATRAA is unfortunately blinded by the ally Omen, but does not panic and presses forward because he knows that the people in front of him aren't blind, and if they aren't dying, then that means there are no enemies nearby. Blocked by the enemy Cypher cage, the allied jet smokes U-Haul and Omen teleports into it to create space for SINATRAA to follow. They are cautious about clearing U-Haul because technically, there has been no information about the enemy's position given, besides the Cypher being in the back right of the site. SINATRAA throws a molly to try and flush anybody out of the entrance of U-Haul. Since Breach earthquaked earlier, they know for a fact that he's around the CT area. Because of this knowledge, SINATRAA decides to move into the molly he's thrown and flash into the smoke where he thinks the Breach is currently hiding. To his surprise, 2 people are actually inside this Omen smoke, but they are both flashed. He deals 104 damage to Raze and 52 to Breach. Although they weren't kills, it is still impressive damage for an entry player on the pistol round. As you can see, the plays SINATRAA makes all depend on different situations that happen around him. Sometimes you don't need to always be the entry as Phoenix. It's good to know when you have a good position, where you get lots of information, or even better, a couple of frags to help win your team the round. And remember, if you want to improve, win more gunfights, and get the rank you've always wanted, then check out SkillCapped.com in the link in the description below. Alright, let us know in the comment section below which part of the map on Split you have most success on playing aggressively in. And while you're down there, leave a like and hit that subscribe button with bells on to get more premium guides to help you improve. We here at SkillCapped want to thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.